Hey guys, it's Amber. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this video is going to be a bit strange because it's not the reaction videos I've been uploading recently this past few days, and that's because I will be talking about a story that happened early in the year, in the school year for me, because for those who don't know, I finished 2 months ago in October. I finished year 12, and in September, so a month before I finished, I was in a drama production called Birdies. This is the script here. It's a pretty cool thing. And yeah, so I'll just give you guys a rundown of what Birdies was, because I have the little pamphlet here that tells you. So pretty much Birdies was about a group of women, 7 women ranging from the ages of 28 to, no, I'll say 33, 28, 20, 25, 21, 19, and 21 again, who found themselves in North Shores Remand Centre. So North Shores Remand Centre was a made-up remand centre for the preface of the story, as a location to the storyline. But a remand centre is where prisoners are put in before they get sentenced. So, wait, no. A remand centre is where you go before you go to court to find out if you are being put into prison or not. So the reason this storyline and production came about was because our teacher, the writer and the director of Birdies, the production, has always been fascinated by prisons and how complex they are and how they house such a huge wave of different people, of individuals from different waves of family life and society. But they are all people, whether they're different, you know what I mean? So, I think this production, having it done in 2020, was amazing because of the fact that, our teacher wrote, in 2020, many of us have had to grapple with certain freedoms being taken away, the feeling of being trapped, and a loss of hope for what the future may hold, because we don't know how long coronavirus is going to last, and we don't know when it's going to finish. All we know is that it's here, we've got it, and although we've got a vaccine in the UK, we don't know when that's going to be given to Australians, to New Zealanders, to Americans, to Indonesians, to Indians. You know, we don't know when everyone in the entire world is going to get that vaccine and whether it works, and if we can go back to the normal we had before the normal we have now. And now we need to focus on the energy, on not on what is happening around us, but on our response to it. So his final paragraph, because he had 4 paragraphs in the little booklet, he wrote Birdies specifically for my group of drama students, because there was 9 of us. In rehearsals, we have worked tirelessly to originate these roles and allow this story to soar. These students have approached everything I've thrown at them with enthusiasm and have been passionate and committed. It's certainly been a big year. At one stage, we weren't sure whether we'd even be able to mount a production, so our teacher said he was grateful that we had been able to showcase the talents of these wonderful students. Then he just mentioned how proud of us he was and everything, and how we had something and how we created something that was definitely worth smiling about, but which is really sweet of him. But yeah, so like I mentioned in there, because of the pandemic, pandemic, we had no idea whether we'd be able to do this production, but we did. And so after so many rehearsals, so many things, on the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th of September, we were able to showcase this production called Birdies to I think it was around, it was to a set number of parents, friends every single night, which is why we went from 3 nights to 4, because in a normal circumstance we would show the production 3 nights in a row. However, we had to do 5 shows in the span of 4 days. So we did a double show on the 9th of September, which was the first viewing we had, and that was during the school day to our teachers' Year 11 English and Year 11 drama students, I believe. So only students got to come, no parents, no nothing, just the Year 11 students got to see it. And then that night on the 9th, again, that was when parents, friends, and whoever bought tickets got to come and watch it. Then we had the 10th, which was the same as the night show of the 9th, and then same as the 11th. So 9, 10, 11th was at 7 PM, apart from the afternoon matinee that we did for the Year 11s. And then on the 12th, we had one at 4 PM. So, yeah, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, so we had 5 shows all up over the span of 4 days. And although it was quite difficult and hard, it was still the best things we could have ever done. The fact that although we still had to do more shows so more people could see it, we still had so much fun doing it. To be honest though, it did get kind of tiring towards the end, because we had to hear the same opening music before, like when the people were coming in, we had to hear the same songs, which were I'm Like a Bird, Nelly Furtado, Raw, Katy Perry, and there was another one, but I can't remember, which is probably good, because to be honest, it did get really, no, Brave by Sarah Bareilles. So those were like, I think the 3 songs that were played as the people were coming in, as the audience were coming in. So we'd be in the wings and we would literally be like jamming and mouthing the words hardcore. But to be honest, it did get really annoying towards like maybe the 11th and the 12th. It got really annoying because we were hearing it so like we heard those songs like, we heard those songs a lot, like. But the best thing was, he purposely did I'm Like a Bird because of the name Birdies. But other than hearing the same 3 songs before our performances and how annoying it would get, it was still so much fun. Yeah. So anyway, let's go on to the story time. So it was the second show. So it was the 10th of September, so it wasn't the second show first night, it was the second night, second performance second night, where my mum, godmom / auntie, because she's both, but I prefer calling her godmom, uncle, and then 2 of my cousins came to watch. Because my 2 friends had come to watch the first evening performance on the Wednesday night, which was really cute. So she got to see the first viewing of it. But my mum, godmum, uncle, and 2 cousins. Oh my lord! I just realized that mum's like outside. That scared the shit out of me. So my mum, yeah, I've already said that like 3 times now. Amber, come on, get with the story. Had come to watch the show, and obviously before a show the audience members are not allowed to see you in costume, and we had like a little barrier thing like between because okay, how am I going to explain this? So we had the lecture. Oh. Okay, so the hallway where we had, like, that was, like, little, like, our space, because we had bathrooms where we could go change if we didn't want to change, like, behind the curtain or, like, backstage. So, at one point, me, my two girlfriends, Abby and Talia, and Jordan, we had all gone outside because Jordan's character was nothing like Jordan at all. It was the complete opposite of Jordan. So his character was really mean, rude, the whole 9 yards of a disgusting human being. So he had to prepare in the worst ways possible. He would punch the wall. He would do anything he could to get into the mindset of the meanest human being ever, where you wanted to literally punch him. And so we had all gone outside because it was actually getting really, really warm backstage. So we went outside for fresh air. I think we were either coming out to do that with Jordan, Abby, and Talia, or we had just come in. But out of the corner of my eye, I had caught eye with my cousin, and I freaked out. I turned around and I ran straight back outside, and I just started hyperventilating and panicking. I don't think that was the entirety of why I started panicking, but it was definitely a factor because I was absolutely terrified of having my family come and watch this production because it had some really heavy topics that I know me as my family have gone through, like a death there was a death in the production, meaning there was also a funeral in the production, and I was always scared of my mum especially watching those two scenes. So I tried to lay as low as possible with my mum coming to see it. So, like, when our teacher was like, so, do you know who you're bringing out? Your mum? And I'm like, I really don't feel comfortable bringing my mum, but I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was making excuses after excuses as to why I didn't want my mum to come to watch it. But I don't know what changed it, but something changed it, and my mum came to see it. And so on that second night, we went to go out, blah, 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 to get some fresh air when I caught eyes with my cousin. Freaked out, started crying, the whole shebang, couldn't breathe properly, blah, blah, blah. The whole 9 yards of a panic attack for me. However, this wasn't the worst panic attack I had, because I had worse throughout the year, but this was a moment where I think I was just overwhelmed by so many things, by the production, the fact I had this, but the fact that the amount of lines I had in this production was the most amount of lines I had ever had to remember, that I felt as though I would get everything wrong, that I was going to forget everything that my teacher told me, like the corrections. I was just so overwhelmed that I think seeing my cousin in costume right before he was meant to go in was the nail on the head for me, and I just freaked out. And thankfully though, Talia, Abby, and Jordan were all cool about it. Abby and Talia were one of the first two people who actually knew about my anxiety from all the way in year 9 when I had my first real panic attack at year 9 camp. And so they knew everything about what led up to my panic attacks, how to get me out of them, the whole 9 yards. They knew it. And I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Talia or Abby. They just, like, forced me to look at them and said, hey, Amber, you are okay. You are safe. You can do this. You know your lines. You got this. And I remember at one point, I was really panicking. This was, like, during the rehearsal stages where I was really panicking about one of the big paragraph / monologues I had. Because every one of us 9 students had either 1 or 2 big paragraph / monologues that we had to deliver. And in some of the rehearsals, I would just forget it and I would literally kick myself for it. But Abby would be so helpful about it. She would be like, hey. So at one point, I remember the exact monologue it was. It was my first one. It was my introductory monologue. And I'll find it. Because, like, I remembered everything beforehand, but as soon as it got to that one, I just couldn't get it. Like, I got my ending monologue before my introductory monologue. I'll just find it. To be honest, I probably don't remember it off by heart now. So it was talking about how my name Tinny came about. So it was this. So all this highlighted bit, this was my big introductory monologue. So I'm just going to read it. Okay, my brother. He called me Tinny first. We grew up poor, but he did save up for this boat. It was only small. All I wanted to do was to get into that little tinny boat and go fishing. I'd go on and on. Tinny time, tinny time, tinny time. I felt so free in the ocean. It was just my brother, me, and tinny time on the water. Anyway, pretty soon he started calling me Tinny, and before I knew it, everyone called me Tinny. I used to hate the nickname as a teenager, but one day I just decided to see it differently. I liked it. So that was my introductory monologue. And I just couldn't get it correct. Sure, I'd get, okay, my brother, he called me Tinny first. But as soon as I finished, we grew up poor, but he did save up for this boat, I would just blank out. And I would feel as though my anxiety would, like, I was getting crushed by the room. Like, by the lecture theatre and everyone. And it was awful. I hated it. But one time during a rehearsal time where we couldn't do anything but just run through lines because certain people were away, me and Ash went into the hallway, the same hallway where I accidentally saw my cousin, and we sat down against the wall and we went through it. And I remember what she did. She said, read through it first, say it, put it down, recite it back to me, and if you do need it, I will give you, like, head starts. Like, I will give you cues. And I think it was, like, maybe the third time I put the book down and I got it correct. And I was just like, I did it. I got it right. And so, like, when Abby said, you can do this, you remember your 2 big paragraphs. You can do this. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then she's like, you're not going to even see your mum. You're not going to even see your auntie, your uncle, your cousins. Because you can't. When you're, I'm sure every single performer, whether you're a singer, dancer, whatever, you know when there's stage lights on you, you literally cannot see anyone. Not even the first row. Even if, okay, for us we could see the front row and kind of the second row because we had the front row free for props. Anything past, like, the second row you could not see because of how bright the stage lights were. And it was crazy that, but the best thing for me was that I used that anxiety, that panic and that anxiety attack, not anxiety attack, it was a panic attack, but that panic, that anxiety and that panic attack I used in my performance. And yes, I will admit that that second performance was not my best. It was, I feel like it was maybe more raw because I had that panic attack beforehand. Because I remember after coming back in, we went back in backstage and I just sat down and my hands stayed shaking because my hands shake. That's like one of the first signs you see when I'm about to have a panic attack. Like, my hands are shaking now, but, like, I'm fine. But that's just, like, a tick I have, I guess, with my anxiety. But, like, one of the first, I would say, 2 things you can tell if I'm about to have a panic attack. I'd say the collagens from my face, and I look terrified, and my hands start shaking crazy, like, worse than what they're doing now. Like, you'll physically see them, like, tremble. And so I just, like, sat up against the wall, like, I think with my legs like this, and I just, like, leaned against the wall. And I think our teacher came past and said, "Hey, you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just had a panic attack, blah, blah, blah." And then the show went without a hitch. Well, as good as it could have gone, because that was the day that was the show we were getting filmed for our grades. So, yeah. But that was one of the nights we were getting filmed. The Thursday night was for close-ups, but Wednesday was the main filming night. So yeah, that's my story time of having a panic attack right before going on stage for my Year 12 production. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. It was really weird, like, going back to that part of Year 12, because I totally forgot that even happened. Like, yeah, I forgot about that. Like, I completely forgot that happened, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more if you want to see more story times, just click that like button, press that subscribe button, and comment down below on what you want to see next, and if you want to see more story times, or if you want me to do more story times about anxiety and panic attacks, because I've got a lot. So, yeah. Bye. See you guys in the next video. Oh, also, before I go, my most recent reaction video will be up here, and it will be down in the description box below. And, yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.